Sup guys? The 2025 Lunar New Year event is upon us, and in this video I'm going to go over the datamine and give you guys my first impressions of the new ships and retrofits. First up is Chen Wu, the new SSR heavy cruiser. Her loadout is decent with 3 damage mounts and no anti-air, which is a fine trade-off because you don't always need anti-air. Her survivability is surprisingly good with an evasion buff, shield, and also damage reduction, which makes her about as tanky as Drake and Azuma according to Meebot's EHP chart. Despite all that, there is just a little bit something holding her back, and that is her firepower stat. She has 147 firepower at level 125, which is the same amount as a lot of destroyers. It wouldn't be too bad if she had some crazy offensive buffs to back it up, like 50% firepower or something, but unfortunately her skills on the offense side are just normal, which does not even begin to make up for her deficiencies in base stats. The barrage from her first skill is actually okay, due to the fact that it will probably activate 3 times every 20 seconds roughly, but I don't know if that will be enough to make her any good. For now, I don't have high hopes, but I could be wrong, so we'll have to see once people start maxing her out. As for the 3 purple ships, there is a lot of flavor text and RNG skills, and their stats are just too low to be of any use. These ships are designed solely to be cute, and that's fine with me. Those of you who like their designs can keep your hopes up for 2027 though, because it seems like at least a couple of them will receive retrofits by then, if they continue the trend from the past few years. Speaking of retrofits, this time we've got Huaja and Fushan. This surely means Longwu next year. Can we just skip forward 1 year right now? Anyway, Huaja can actually take 6 fighters at 150% efficiency, and also has a solid aviation stat. This not only puts her over Chenhai from the previous year, but it actually potentially makes her one of the best options in the Chapter 15 support fleet. Comparing her to Illustrious, she has about 65 less aviation when accounting for base stats, Illustrious's torpedo bomber slot, which would give her an extra 45 if you use a gold torpedo bomber, and a bit more extra from her unique augment. But Huaja, on the other hand, has 50 more efficiency on both fighter slots. I'm only comparing base stats and not aviation bonuses from skills because I'm pretty sure they're not active in the support fleet. So she's solidly in that tier with Illustrious and Indomitable as another top tier option for your Chapter 15 support fleet, and above other options like Idle Illustrious and Yorktown 2. I don't think her actual combat capabilities are anything noteworthy still, but at least she occupies some sort of niche, and there have been people in the past who asked me who they could put in the Chapter 15 fleet if they're missing the Illustrious class carriers, so here's another good one. And finally, we have the retrofit of the last DDG. She seems stronger than Tai Yuan in most cases, but there are some caveats. One thing that is immediately obvious is that she doesn't need a full fleet. I typically use Anshan to clear the sea stages of new events, so Fushan will be my new go-to for that. Next, her stat buffs are a bit lower than that of Tai Yuan's, but it's made up for by her crit bonus. 20% crit damage is somewhere between 9 and 10% extra damage, which about offsets her 13% lower firepower. The crit bonus also scales better with other sources of firepower, including those from Shinano and Anshan, because the bonuses are multiplicative. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it, it's not that important. But the thing that really puts her over Tai Yuan is that she has bonuses for her missile, which Tai Yuan does not, so raw damage-wise, this is what's going to put Fushan over Tai Yuan. Her retrofit skill barrage also does seem weaker than Tai Yuan's, but the difference isn't enough to offset the missile buffs that Fushan has. The thing that is most tricky though is the difference in reload. Tai Yuan can typically fire off a salvo of her missiles right before the end of a 60 or 80 second battle, and with Fushan's lower reload buff, it gets pretty close at the end. I, myself, might be able to get off that last salvo of missiles with Fushan, given my maxed Destroyer Reload Fleet Tech bonus and Oath, and I also typically use an Oxytorp. But most players might not be able to, in which case Tai Yuan will probably deal more damage with the extra missile salvo. In summary, while Fushan's raw damage output is higher, the difference is not great, and Tai Yuan might end up dealing more damage in a battle due to the extra bit of reload that she has. Anyway, that's it for this update. It is a raid event, so I'll be testing a bunch of random things and sharing my findings throughout the course of the event. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.